Hey everyone, this is BDevine. I think I'm here right now. Oops. Bit of fluff. Welcome. Thanks so much for being here. I do not know exactly how this video is going today, but I am going to give you a few things to maybe take note of, perhaps. And we're going to have a look at the energy of Pluto in Aquarius, which has moved in there yesterday now. So you may be feeling a little bit different than you did this time last week. Okay, this is the first time that Pluto has sat in Aquarius since 1777. Okay, a lot of revolutions were happening at that time. So we're going to have a little look at this. I'm going to go over a couple of cards for us. And I want to let you know that I will be live on Monday, most likely Monday afternoon, okay, for a live, and I'm just going to do random readings for people and talk to people. But today we're going through this energy, having a look at a few different things, and also, inviting you to think about the next part of your journey, your spiritual pathway. What is it going to be for you? In 2022, I founded and created the Light Leaders Academy, full of information and teachings for the old ways, bringing back the old ways into the now, right? So I have developed this, and we have plenty of light leaders that are all connected with each other, and we also have a Telegram group that we all connect on also. And you get to heal yourself, and then you can pass that healing on to others, and you're taught how to do so. And as a bonus, all work done with BDevine is accredited worldwide. So I am a training provider. I'm also an executive therapist and practitioner of holistic medicine. So you know that when you do this study, you're getting something at the end of it as well. It's a 12-week course, and some people charge $1,000 for an 8-hour course. So really think about that. You're getting 12 weeks plus unlimited connections and support throughout. If you want to talk to me, if you're like, I want to do this, I don't know how I'm going to do it with payments and this, that, and the other. If you want to talk to me, there will be a link for you to book a call. I have certain amounts of call spaces available. If you're not there, you won't get another chance to talk. It's only for people who are really serious, and it's a 30-minute call with me directly on Zoom. It doesn't cost you anything. We'll just go over some of your options and also the curriculum or whatever questions you have for me. And I'll tell you about the payment plans that you can get started and, really change your life. Why? Because worldwide, people are going to start to, and they are already, really, really awaken to the truth of who they are as a soul. There are nervous people, there are anxious people, there are traumatized people. And there are people who have tried all kinds of things before. People who don't feel like they've gotten any help. People who feel like it's all too overwhelming, okay? And those people are going to be coming forward, and I can't be the one that, takes it all on. So that's why I'm offering this at the Academy. You're also going to be given a platform to work from that's in the making right now. And it's going to be kind of like Facebook. Since Facebook is fighting with TikTok and so on and so on, we will have a spiritual community-based Facebook type of platform where we'll have our light leaders right there ready to work with you all. So, humongous opportunities, right, as we move forward. And I'm right there every step of the way. So if you feel like you just want to talk to me about that, not for readings, and you're not going to waste my time by not showing up, that happens a lot, and you really just want to talk to me about this seriously, I will make it happen for you. Okay, in fact, For those of you who do book in with me as a personal phone call, you will get a special deal that I'm not going to mention here on the price, okay? If you don't turn up, or if you have to cancel out or something, it's void, okay? So if you're going to make this appointment with me, just do the right thing and be there, or within 24 hours, let me know, right? I don't want to be sitting there waiting on a call and no one's there. So that's later, okay? You really want to consider this because nothing else like it is out there. And the people that finally decide to join, they are blown away. They thought they knew what they were getting until they sit in there. So you will see more of me doing this and explaining this to you all. And I'll probably make a short video explaining a little bit why this is different and why this is unique, right? And how much you're going to learn. An awful lot, okay? So for this video, we will be pulling some cards, don't worry. But we are going to look at Aquarius, and we are going to look at Pluto, okay? And we are going to do a screen share right now so we can see how this is going to affect us. One of the things about this is when Pluto, because Pluto hasn't moved for ages. So since 2008, it stations itself in Capricorn. Capricorn is focused on the government, money, resources, finances, and people started working really hard. And in the United States, there was just this huge crash, right? So there was a meltdown of money and resources because of Pluto's energy sitting in that very house. Again, I'm not an astrologer. I just find this extremely intriguing, right? And now it's shifted into Aquarius. It's going to be in and out of Aquarius this year until next year. And it will go into Aquarius for 20 years. The awakening of humanity. Okay, it's happening. All right. So let me screen share this. Okay, here we go. All right, you ready? All right, so well, hello everyone. I don't know why this is doing that, but there it is. Okay. Pluto enters Aquarius 2023, the year of big shifts. Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, and the lunar nodes all change signs in 2023. As in comparison, 2022, just Jupiter changed signs then. Now we're going to have Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, and lunar nodes, okay, changing. So we know that Jupiter moved into, Saturn, moved into Pisces. I'm not sure where Jupiter moved into. Okay. This means in 2023, you can expect lots of changes and shifts. Our lives can be set on completely new trajectories in ways we can't even fathom yet. In 2023, everything changes, and while it's impossible to predict how exactly these changes will play out in your life, learning more about the upcoming transits will help you get in sync with the universe, right? So that you can make the most of these opportunities. So we had March 8th, Saturn went into Pisces, okay? Jupiter conjunct Chiron, okay? So at Aries. So you have to look in your chart where your Chiron is. Mine is in Aries. So if you go, what's my Chiron, what sign is my Chiron in? And there'll be some kind of calculator online. Or you can go to Time Passages, which is a free app for your phone or your iPad, and it will give you a listing of all of your planetary alignments, conjunctions, transits, etc. So Jupiter conjunct Chiron. And then March 23, Pluto entering Aquarius, right? April 20th, we're going to have a solar eclipse for Aries. May 5th, a lunar eclipse. We are moving into beginnings and endings and big breakthroughs and bang, bang, bang. Jupiter will go into Taurus on May 16th. June, Jupiter will go North Node at Taurus. And then the North Node, which is in your chart, your North Node is your future. It's where your destiny lies. And you want to kind of look at your North Node and your midheaven, because that'll show the pinnacle of your career focus. Again, this is all on this chart. It's all for free. Okay, so Venus goes retrograde July 23rd, October 14th, solar eclipse, October 28th, lunar eclipse. We also have blue moon in August. There's a blue moon in there as well. I don't know why it wasn't in here. So Pluto in Aquarius. All right, so let's take a look at this. And I have my Aquarian, my moon sign is Aquarius. So it's kind of sitting there too. Pluto only changes signs once every 20 years on average. So when it moves into a different sign, it will start to activate a completely different area of your chart. The impact will be quite dramatic. Pluto will spend 3 months in Aquarius in 2023, but that's enough to give us a taste about what's to come in the next 20 years. For us, since yesterday, it's been very quiet in our area, right? Just our area is quite noisy where we live. That's why we're moving, part of the reason. And, it's been very quiet. Strange. Pluto is the planet of total and complete transformation. So the outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, are the movers and the shakers. However, it's Pluto that completely and utterly transforms our life. With Pluto, no stone is left unturned. So as the world goes through systemic change, we too are being asked to change from the inside out. So Pluto will revolutionize our society. Aquarius is the sign of groups of people, and together with Capricorn, it represents society as a whole. Because remember, it's going to go in and out of Capricorn this year. It's going to give us a taste until June of Aquarius. It'll go out back to Capricorn, and it'll go back in again and come back out until next year. Oops. If it's in Capricorn, Pluto's job was to revolutionize authority and top-down systems and structures. Pluto in Aquarius goal is to transform every aspect of our society, from societal systems to institutions, the way groups of people relate to each other, or the role the state plays in society. Aquarius is the sign of innovation, the internet, and networks of people and data, which is another reason why I'm telling you, you need to get on the bandwagon now. Get on this healing journey for yourself. Become the teacher or guide that you've always wanted to be, because as you can see, Aquarius will bring like-minded people together, will shift people's dynamics, will lift people into new vibrations of truth. Psychic abilities will open because Aquarius, and I know this because it's my moon sign, is very good at predicting, seeing, or looking into the future of things as well. And this will be a very futuristic time also. Now, with Pluto in Aquarius, the role technology and AI play in our society will come under intense scrutiny. Those systems and technologies that are corrupted will be exposed, while value creation technologies and data solutions will continue to proliferate and transform every aspect of our life. So, at a personal level, Pluto and Aquarius will activate a particular house in your natal chart, asking for a total transformation of that area of life. So Pluto transits are considered difficult, and that's because Pluto asks us to deal with the dirt we've been brushing under the carpet. Okay? So you have to look in your natal chart as well. But hang on a minute. Pluto transits are a call for ultimate authenticity. Authenticity, not in a Jupiterian sense of holding high moral ground, but in the sense of truly embracing our shadow and owning those sides of ourselves that are not very flattering. It moves into Aquarius in March, yesterday, and this is also when Saturn leaves Aquarius and Saturn moves into Pisces. Yikes! So this two simultaneous ingresses suggest that Saturn is now passing his Aquarius mandate to Pluto while moving to the next Piscean chapter of the cycle. So the Saturn in Pisces thing, if you're a Pisces or if you have Pisces in your chart, this is important, but it's going to affect all of us, and it will have a little bit of a different vibe, okay? When Saturn is in its domicile signs, Capricorn and Aquarius, it does what it knows best. It works hard. The good news about Saturn leaving its sign is that in the next 2 to 5 years, we will not have to work so hard. All the hard work that we've had to do, all this, grinding away and working as hard as we can and slaving away that we've been doing, for a long time now. And especially, over the 2020, 2019, 2021, all that area, I don't think I've ever worked so hard, especially going into 2022. And I thought I couldn't do any more. It was just working so hard to make this academy, to bring this academy to you, to be here this year, to be able to say, okay, you can get started. There's so many different things in there, not just semester 1, 2, or 3. There's other types of things that you can take that are also accredited. Okay, different types of Reiki. But anyway, the good news about Saturn is that we're not going to have to work so hard. We're going to be able to manifest. Saturn in Pisces also means that we're officially done with the exhausting, conflicting, 2-year-long Saturn-Uranus square. So the Saturn energy brings up the viruses around the Earth and has done for a long time. And if you want to, a good book is the Astrological History of the World, and it really, really shows us different conjunctions and what happens. Okay, Saturn is one that just for some reason it brings up, it's almost like it activates, let's just say, oh, now we're going to have a virus. Oh, now this is coming out. Okay, now we're going to have this. And a lot of presidents, that just for the United States alone, American presidents with the Jupiter Saturn presidents, okay? I'll read this really quickly to you. So, one of the key dates, after the Declaration of Independence in 1776, when hostilities with the British came to an end and American independence was recognized in 1783. So after the signing of the Declaration of Independence, it still took a little while for everyone to get their shit together, basically, and stop doing what they were doing and, start to move forward, right? And this fell exactly during the the Saturn and Jupiter conjunction with Capricorn, right? More tragically, every American president in the past 200 years who has been inaugurated Jupiter Saturn, for some reason those two are like they have either been assassinated or they have survived an assassination attempt, right? Thomas Jefferson and James Monroe, okay, they are some of the early boys, are exception to the rule, right? So JF Kennedy, who's actually related to my husband, can you get over that, the Fitzgerald side of it, elected in the hope of a new Camelot in 1960 with Jupiter, Saturn in Capricorn. This is when he was elected. And he was shot in 63 in Dallas. And funnily enough, his Pluto, his midheaven, I was explaining to you before, was Pluto, and it was lined up in something about Dallas, was lined up there. Anyway, so Ronald Reagan was shot, right? And he was elected on a ticket to reduce taxes, deregulate the economy, strengthen defenses. He was inaugurated under Jupiter Saturn in Libra and survived serious injuries sustained in an assassination attempt in 1981. Now, in 1981 and late 1980, 1981, when the Saturn was doing its thing here with Jupiter, this is where we also had the AIDS pandemic, right? And I want to tell you, 44 million people. I'll get the actual statistics here. Okay, 44 million people. Where is it? So there's 44 million, in this number, AIDS infected people, okay, since in 3 months. So this is where we're at right now. The deaths caused by AIDS this year, 380,000, okay, and 34. So okay, so this is the amount. Oh my God. What? Hang on a minute. Wait a minute, everybody. Let's just do it this way. Okay, so I don't know what I was doing there. Hang on. Let's do 380 times 4, right? Just so I don't have to worry about the thousands. So, wow. So 1.5, basically it's 1.5 million people. 1.5 million people in a year, okay, dying at least of AIDS. Okay, 1.5 million people a year dying of AIDS. A year, okay? And then we have, this is the coronavirus stuff. So this is how many people got it. This is how many people recovered. And this is how many deaths since 2019. Okay, so what's going on? Anyway, didn't want to really bring that up right now. But look at this. Look at the cigarette smoke today. Woohoo! Someone's having a day. Look at that. Abortions, look at those this year. And these are the amount of people that are infected with AIDS, which actually worked out to like 176 million people a year being infected. Okay, I think that's a lot more than the people that were infected, with what. Anyway, don't worry about the numbers there for a minute. Okay, Franklin D. Roosevelt was voted in for an unprecedented 4 terms, and in the second, which fell in 1940 during a Jupiter-Saturn thing. And he created a mood of hope. He had a fireside chat, and he died in office 3 months after the 4th inauguration in 1945. I think after that is when they stopped having so many terms. He was only 63. It's funny, JFK died in 63. Harding, elected in 1920 with Jupiter, Saturn, Taurus, represented a desire for normality after the First World War. His sudden early death in 1923 was attributed to the shock of learning of the imminent exposure of corruption in his cabinet on a scale that was unprecedented in White House history. So he just died. Couldn't take it. William McKinley, in 1900, under the Jupiter, Saturn, Capricorn thing, was an expansionist president. He boosted trade on a global scale. He survived less than a year of his second term, being shot by an anarchist and dying 8 days later, right? James Garfield, elected with Saturn, Jupiter in Taurus in 1880, upset his party by insisting on the freedom to make political appointments as he chose. He was shot by a deranged admirer of his critics in the July of his inauguration year. He died 2 months later from the wounds, only 50 years old. He was succeeded by Chester Arthur, whose health suffered badly under the strain of the office. So look at what happens. And Abraham Lincoln, elected for his first term of office on the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction of 1860 in Virgo, promoted national unity and declared an end to slavery. He survived through the years of the Civil War to his second term, but was shot by an actor in April 1865, months after his second inauguration. Like he's only 56 years old. Elected in 1841 to the conjunction in Capricorn, William Henry Harrison campaigned on his military reputation as a log cabin frontiersman and victor over the Native Americans. He caught pneumonia at his inauguration and just died. See, pneumonia, viruses, illnesses, everything comes up with Saturn. Intriguingly, Thomas Jefferson, born 1763, and one of the only two presidents to survive. Roosevelt was born in 1882, survived through to his fourth term. And George W. Bush, elected on Jupiter-Saturn conjunction of 2000, faced dangerous presidency with a terrorist attack, etc. And then it only has up to the year 2000, so we're not exactly sure about the others. But so far you can see, I don't think there's anyone that's died in here yet. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. So this is the astrological history of the world. Of course, that's just one thing. But it really does talk about rebellions and revolutions and things like that, which is Uranus and Pluto. They're going to cause those things. It depends where it's stationed. Religion changed also with this. Hang on, there's one more thing here. Anyway, there's a ton of stuff that I could go over, but let me just keep on going with this. So, all right, everybody. In Pisces, Saturn's not really concerned with systemic change. You notice that it was with Capricorn and Virgo mostly, that the Saturn and Jupiter conjunction were in those houses that, in those signs, that caused all the trouble here. So, Saturn and Neptune will not meet in conjunction, but by sharing the sign, they will get to know each other better and agree on a common approach. When Saturn and Neptune will eventually meet at 0 degrees in Aries, a few years later, they will be creating a completely different reality. Sorry, I got something in the corner of my eye. Saturn in Pisces is our chance to get clarity around our deepest dreams, as well as those areas of life that come to a natural end. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, and while Pisces is not an ending energy for everyone, there is nevertheless an expectation to bring to the highest degree of manifestation some of the projects that we've been working on, right? Okay, so what else does this mean? Let me take another look here. So there's how you can just go to this. It's worldometers.info. It also has a COVID one, and it talks about, like, you can see the different spikes and things, and then countries and territories, and of course the USA is number one. But we look at this, the total cases, 106 million, right? And the total recover, 103 million, and 1.1 total deaths in since 2019. And keep in mind some of the things that it's not always been shared with you, okay? But you can look it up yourself. And this is the thing that I usually go to, because it's updated by the second, okay? It shows us different graphs and things that we can look at, progression cases, active cases, timelines, different places that things are, where they're happening, etc. If you're interested in that, I'm not. But I just wanted to show you that AIDS and, the infection of AIDS, and even the what was it? Communicable diseases? Communicable diseases this year. This is today. 20,000 people today around the world have died of a communicable disease, right? So this year alone, 2.9 million people have died this year. It's only March. Okay? Seasonal flu this year, 113,000. Today, 787 have passed today. Children, abortions, mothers during births, and this massive number for AIDS. Okay? We just need to keep these things in mind. Get our own research done. Okay. So let's look at some other stuff here. Okay, back. All right, so let's have a look at this Pluto and Aquarius. I'm just going to read some things about this real quick, and I'm going to pull some cards for you. So, I totally confused myself with the numbers and the calculators there before. Oh well, we got there in the end. Okay, Pluto. Okay, one moment. Let me see here. Yay me, 2 hours later. Okay, 20. So, Pluto, rebirth, right? I'll just read you this little story here about Pluto. It is the modern ruler of Scorpio. It is a powerful planetoid. It takes 248 years to go around the zodiac, all 12 signs. Pluto and Charon, the largest of its 5 moons, circle each other, and they create a binary system. Like this. Okay? Most myths connected to Pluto, god of the underworld, have 2 major characters. The one who descends into the underworld to return reborn, and the one who either sends souls down to the underworld or greets them on arrival. For Pluto, very much like Hades, right? Falling in love with Persephone, grabbing her, taking her down into the underworld, and her mother going, "Where's my daughter? What the hell's going on? Where is she? She's missing." And then she finds her, and then she says, "Well, you're only allowed to go down there for winter." And that's what happens, right? So from Pluto to Proserpina, to Seth and Osiris and Inanna and Ereshkigal, both sides of the myths, okay? The use and abuse of power and the willingness to be reborn again into their empowered divine self describe Pluto's influence. It's going to take you down, okay? It's going to, if you're ready for a shamanic journey, or you're ready for a deep healing, or you're ready for something to completely change in your life, You're going to move to a completely different place than you thought you were going to be going to. You're going to study something completely different. It will tear you down, meaning anything that's been holding you back from allowing this transformation to take place, or anyone who's been doing that, it's going to be torn down, torn apart, defenses down. You go, you do your work, and you come up and you're complete, like the hermit, right? In the tarot, you've got to have a time in your life where you accept who you are and you reflect, right? You're not sitting there trying to figure every little thing out. That you instead accept, you surrender to the divine. You say, this is where I'm at, this is where I want to be, this is what I would like to see happen. I'm open. Let it occur. I don't care how you do it, just do it. I'm sick of worrying about it, right? So that sort of thing. But sometimes Pluto will really shock you as well. Not as bad as Uranus will, because that's just like, whoa, all of a sudden we're going to shift gear. Someone can't get the clutch in. No, they can't get the clutch in. Oh, they've got it. It's like in that moment between being able to shift gears, you know, and someone doesn't know what they're doing. It's like, right? You know what I'm saying? It's that moment, okay, before the change. And we've probably been sitting in this for some time. So Pluto is asking you to dig deep, okay? It's asking you to be willing to transform, and it's asking you to use that power wisely, okay? That's basically what it is. The gift is, why are you here? What the hell are you doing on this planet? What do you think you should be doing? You know, what is your number, your numerological number as well? My friend just did mine and found out I am a Master 33. Pretty impressed with myself. I'm doing it, right? Teaching. That's what that's all about. And Pluto's challenge can bring obsession and depression, mortality and grief. And some people go through that game forever. They're always a victim. It's always about them. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You must be thinking about them. And if you're not thinking about them, then you're a problem. And if you were thinking about them, you're a problem. You're just a problem to these people who are obsessive and, you know. So that's the downside to Pluto, is it can just bring a person into complete victimhood all of the time. And I don't know if you know people like that, but usually, you know, they are feeling everything and sensitive about everything, and they become obsessed with what's going on in the world, let's say, or some social media person or whatever it is, and they're just watching them, and then they're just truly believing that that person is talking about them, and they become obsessed. And this is where you get these crazy fans, you know, that I'm your number one fan, you know, and boom, take someone out. It's that dangerous, because they can't get past that. You know, it's almost like they're trying to control the feeling that's trying to change in them, and they're focusing their attention on something, so because they're too scared to move into the future, because they don't want to go through that transformation phase. They don't want to do it because they don't know what's on the other side of it. This happens a lot through your healing process as well. You know, you're going through a major transformation. You know, we just had a few people who started recently at the academy, and one of them in particular was really frightened about this, you know, really worried about this, because they knew deep down this was going to be such a transformation. They were scared of what life was going to be like in a healed reality, right? What is life going to be like in your healed reality? Some people can't take it, and they'll revert back to the old problems that got them in trouble in the first place, right? So Pluto will force you to really look at what you're holding on to, what you need to let go of, where you need to dig deep, and what do you want to be in your life? When you grow up, what do you want to be? Right? What do you want to be when you grow up? What's it going to be for you? You know? I don't know anything else but to do what I'm doing and to continue channeling the information and writing the information and teaching the information so that everybody's doing this work because it's amazing. Okay? All right, so Aquarius is the challenge here because we got Pluto in the house of Aquarius. Oh, while I'm doing this work, a lot of people say it as well, but I've said it to you for years. When everybody's here, the angels, the guides, the loved ones, the ancestors, your spiritual light team, you're going to tingle. For me, they make my nose itch. Of course, like you want to be there. Oh, I'm getting a message. Oh my God. Okay. Wait. Okay, so the symbol for Aquarius is not water, but the water bearer. Look, it's like a jug of water. You are the jug, you are the vessel. How's that? Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, co-ruled by Uranus, and connected to the ankles, which we use to turn from one person to another in a conversation. I like that. Okay. This is about what a society expects of us. You see how that means when Pluto comes in to rip things up that we're holding on to? It's coming into these ideals. So what society expects of us, our reputation, freeing ourselves from tradition and others' opinions, and being able to think outside the box. Healthy collaborations, cultivating allies, finding others called by the same causes and working together, weaving people to create a community. That's what's happening here. And this web will bring in new friendships, purpose, and connections, which may lead to romantic sparks. So, encouraging you to let go of previous constructs and listen to the source within. That's about it. And Pluto is going to show you where you're not doing that, where you're listening to others or you're following, you know, when you're following someone's plan, that's one thing. Like, you know, you're listening to their ideas, you're gaining knowledge. But at the end of that, you've really got to focus on yourself and what you would like to do, as long as it's not, obviously not hurting anybody else, because that is never going to work for you, right? If you love to share readings or your ideas or how to construct things, whatever, it's time for teachers to actually start to teach and move forward in that teaching energy as well. Because you all have something to share, that's why you're here. You want to have a look at where Pluto was when you're born. For some of us, it's going to be Libra because of the years that you're born. And when Pluto was in Libra in the 70s, early 80s, it also brought about a change in how relationships were. A lot of people started to get divorced, etc. All because that's really loud. Sorry. It just turned itself really loud. Now it's turned itself off. Okay, I don't mind it being on. Okay, it's all right now. So I'm trying to compete with the music. Okay. So yeah, so in the 70s, you know, Pluto was in Libra. There was a lot of things happening then. It was the end of the Vietnam War. There were, you know, fallouts from that also. There were people that came in at that time, like in the 70s, to be here when there was different harmonic things happening on the earth as well. We went through, some people say we went through our integral shifts, like the world went through its ascension process a lot sooner than what we were told. What the heck? Sorry, everyone. Okay, I swear it just turns itself up at certain parts of the song. Okay. So this energy is massive. I can't even get over how big it is, how your life will change. It will affect if you want to look at what your rising sign is, obviously, you want to look how Pluto is affecting that as well. And my rising sign is Virgo, so it's going to affect my 6th house as well as my 1st house, but it's going to affect my 6th house of work and service, exercise, looking after yourself, collaboration, etc. But we won't be working as hard as we have been. So what is the message for everyone who's listening? Solar calm, we're getting clarity. So we have these extremes in the like solar flares, for example. We had all these G-storms, etc. recently as well. And now we're in the calm, as it says here. So when you're in the calm, you can actually get things done. What's hard is when you're in the energy of solar storms or solar flares, because when that's happening, you're wanting to do things, but you are too wiped out to do so. You're downloading information. If your sun sign is Leo and is ruled by the sun, like me, then you are going to find that really, really gets you, and it really, you really have to take that time to integrate it. So there's clarity coming in. We have in Scorpio, okay, so we have investigating energy with Scorpio, and oh my God, Leo. So we're shining here, okay. I'll tell you in a minute. Our career is focused in our 10th house. There's a Price is Right guy down here. Yay. He goes up that thing. I was saying to my husband the other day, I'm like, surely it's easier to climb that mountain when you've got both feet doing it. If you weren't born a long time ago, you won't get it. Okay. And the Amam Koele. Okay, so this is it here. So what we have is clarity is coming in, right? We're starting to get used to where we are and what we want to do. We're integrating all of that solar energy, right? Now, Scorpio energy is making you look very closely at things, to investigate things, and also ask yourself, where are you on your journey? Like, are you focused on the physical, the mental, the spiritual, the healing? What are you really focused on? Because you're going to have to start to integrate all of these things together. The Leo shine here asks you to have confidence. So one of the things that I was finding in my life, I'm right at the end of a Leo, but I'm still going to take it. The one thing I was fighting with it was that I was reading everywhere for Leo that they like to be center stage, and that wasn't me because I was always extremely nervous and anxious, right? I was focused too much on the future, which causes that, of course. And I was wondering, I want some of this Leo confidence, right? And I was wondering where it is. And it depends where you're born, like on the spectrum of being a Leo. My oldest son, is the 8th of the 8th, okay? He is Leo personified, all right? Different to me, although he has the anxiety of a Sagittarian. So, with the Leo and saying, oh, hey, have confidence in what you do, and you're thinking to yourself, I don't even know how to start doing that because I'm nervous about everything. What if it fails? What if it doesn't work? What if it? And changing that for me in my life to, what if it does work? What if it's easy? What if I ask the angels to do it? What if I just employ my spiritual light team who are doing nothing? to actually take care of these situations? What if the universe does work in my favor? Just changing my wording really changed everything in my life and in the lives of my light leaders as well. Because I tell you what, when you're working with this work all of the time, you really start to see where others are struggling and why. You can see it, you can pinpoint it a mile away. So the Leo asks us to just, take the pressure off and be ourselves, and the Leo energy will push through for us as well. And then we're getting to the bottom of everything, the root of everything, and Pluto will pull up some things that you're still dealing with or working with as well. Your career is going to be highlighted, but remember, we're not working as hard as we might have done in the past as well. So yeah, we're going through changes like the song. We're in a space of the unknown because no one alive has been through this return, like this Pluto being in Aquarius. No one alive's been there. I mean, unless you were alive in 1777 and you can remember your past lives. Okay. We've got to just, I'm seeing it as an amazing thing, because 15 years of dealing with financial crises and working our guts out, everything going up, everything, inflation going through the roof, everything being harder for the average and ordinary person that's really trying to work hard to make ends meet every single month, to feel like that's going to finally just ease off. It might not be that it is easing off. It might actually be that the way we're thinking about it is changing. And again, that changes our reality as well. So the astrological history of the world, I did want to just share one more thing. So, okay. Wait a minute, where is it here? Hyper 2000 and, see, this only goes up to 2009. Okay, but the birth of the nation, okay. I wanted to tell you this one thing about JFK, and I read this, it drew me to the page today where I was drawn right into this particular page to read it. So he was born on the 29th of May, 1917, at 3 p.m. Eastern Time in Massachusetts, right? Mars was on the ascendant, always a bullish aspect, and Kennedy's relocated chart runs just to the right of Vietnam, with Jupiter and Mercury ascendant lines close by, suggesting high hopes and extravagant promises. What might have been a hint of the eventual outcome and of America's humiliation was his Neptune and Saturn lines in the area pointing to extreme concern, paranoid, worry, sacrifice, and limitation. His earlier standoff over Cuba to force the withdrawal of Soviet missile bases there in the Bay of Pigs crisis was successful, perhaps because of the Jupiter, which brings successes, midheaven and Uranus, inspiration and pioneer spirit, descendant cross line on the latitude of Cuba. This was lucky, audacious gamble that paid off. But listen to this. Kennedy's Pluto midheaven line was running and does run right through Dallas, okay, where he was assassinated in 1963. It's an accurate reflection of a meeting with the death-dealing world, which is one of Pluto's faces, right? This fate is something he would perhaps have avoided if he'd handled more carefully the power given to him, apparently. I don't think so. He was doing really good things for the United States. And I do have a soft spot for JFK. So, it's really saying that the Pluto midheaven, it drew a line from where he was born to where he actually passed, and it was accurate. So there's a lot of things here, mysteries about different things that come up with certain planetary involvements, and we need to keep it in mind. When you were a little kid, did you know that it was a full moon or a new moon or anything like that? We didn't care. It was just, we're having a crappy day or not. So we're starting to get a little bit interested in these things as reasons why we're feeling like crap, or reasons why something's changed in our life, rather than just the universe giving it to us. So I don't want you to start to obsess, but at the same time, it is very, very interesting. Last year we had Pluto in Capricorn, and it was the exact moment, exact same thing as 1776 with the signing of the Declaration of Independence, which has brought a lot of change since then, right? Since 2022 even, we've gone through this other phase, and people are sort of sick of different narratives. They're sick of being told what to do, let's just say. Different groups are coming together, but what this is asking us to do, and this is what I'm personally trying to create also, is a community of like-minded souls that just want to help. You want to share your knowledge, share your wisdom, help heal humanity, and allow them to pay it forward and for it to keep going, and I know that I personally have to teach everything that I know. It's a lot. There's a lot in this brain, and having to put it into sections is hard for me to do, because I just want to say it all. But you're going to learn a lot. Over 42 hours of study in semester 1, 12 weeks plus of work to do, plus over 18 hours of meditations and recordings and journeys, etc., PDFs and books and things that you're given, plus Telegram support groups, etc. There's so much there, it's not even funny. And it's interesting to me that people will waste time and money on these elaborate things and not listen to what's right here and has been right here, So once again, if you wish to talk to me, there will be a link below. This is not for, and if you've missed out this week on it, I will try my best to accommodate. You'll have to email me or whatever, but I have certain days available. So make sure that if you do choose a time that you're actually there, okay? And this is for us to get started with you so you can understand more about it, okay? And you can navigate into your new life. Don't forget I have a tarot course as well. All are accredited at my Teachable website, okay? And you'll be able to just join this beautiful family of light and healing for sure. So everybody, I think that's all I wanted to say today. I will see you on Monday afternoon. I will post a time for my live. And I hope you have an awesome, awesome, awesome weekend. Embrace this energy. Take some time to write about what you want for your future. What's your mission? Don't worry about money and all that. What is your mission for the future? Let go of how that can happen. And just focus on it. And see what starts to transpire in your life. All right. I will see you all soon. Okay. And until the next time, bye for now.